Oh, and we're back. Thanos wiped out half the universe, and everybody came back, and after when he was defeated, but I don't see the main host, Rob, here, so I don't know if he came back. It's kind of scary, guys. Okay, here, let's see. It worked for Tony. Let's do it.
Hey,
okay.
Oh
my gosh, you're back.
I'm here. I'm here to do. Well, are we still doing the spoiler video?
Yeah, of course we are.
Okay, good.
That's why I'm here. I don't know why you're here.
Well,
okay.
I'm here to do the spoiler video. It's great to be back, and welcome to R&B Reviews. And like we just mentioned, this is the spoiler review for Avengers Endgame. If you have not seen the movie, don't watch further. We did do a non-spoiler video for you to check out. If you want, I'll put that in the description box as well.
And if you haven't seen the movie, what are you waiting for?
Probably waiting for ticket for seats to be available.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had our little conflict. Alright, but before we get to our review, we first gotta dive in like Namor the Submariner, Imperious Rex, to our wonderful viewers, subscribers. Thank you so much.
We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much.
Yes, I really loved Film Don's comments, so it was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I want to give a special shout out for Nick Naker. He does videos on video games, and he plays them and commentates on them, so please check him out as well. And of course, I want to give a shout out to longtime viewers and subscribers like Jared Griffith, who does movie reviews as well as Ms. Lizzie Borden, Telvia Smolka, future filmmaker 39480, and Whiteout Show 365, who does podcasts and music videos, and of course Justin from Dust Productions, a big Marvel fan.
We're hoping that you feel better, Justin.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we really need to go into the plot. I'm sure people that have seen the movie know what it's about by now.
Yes.
Yes. Like I said in the non-spoiler, Darren, I thought it was a very satisfying movie. I liked that it was a 3-hour movie, but I thought it worked very well. Like each hour was like its own movie or genre. You had like a time movie, you had like a dark movie where everyone's in despair, and you have an action all-out movie where everyone's coming together and fighting.
Yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, I mean, it's just so hard to just break down like my favorite part of Endgame. Gosh, yeah, I mean, there was some just great one-liners, especially from Captain America. Gosh, how do we begin?
Well, I thought it was a very dramatic movie, and I thought it was satisfying. I did have a few nitpicks, like for example, at the end of Captain Marvel, you know, when Nick Fury is trying to contact her before he vanishes, I thought she was going to play more of a bigger role. I mean, she's there in the beginning, and you know, Thor's like, I like this girl, and they go and they go out and get Thanos, and then after that she just disappears, and I'm like, well, don't you want to go with them to get these Infinity Stones back? I was kind of disappointed. I mean, she came back for the fight at the end,
but I mean, Tony Stark and Nebula wouldn't have been in Endgame at all if it hadn't been for Captain Marvel saving them. So I mean, she definitely was the one who saved the day and started everything. But she already had a movie though, Rob. So she couldn't hog everything, you know.
I know, but I mean, I think she could have worked well. Like one thing I loved about it was how everybody that was on this mission were broken up into teams, and they all worked very well. Instead of Rocket didn't have his Guardians, so he's off with Thor. And I thought it was really nice to change a pace for everyone to work with different people on these missions.
Yeah. We covered Captain Marvel. Let's go back. Let's go to Thor since you said that. He's basically creating like Valhalla on Earth, Asgard on Earth. And I loved how Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers, they made him have the actual costume like from the comics, like the Nordic, like basically Fat Thor is what we're talking about, and he was absolutely hilarious. Just Endgame had like so much great comedic moments, you know.
Yeah, and dramatic ones too.
And very dramatic ones,
Yeah.
but we'll get to those.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really glad to see that Valkyrie was alive, because I was worried since she didn't show up in Infinity War. I thought she had gotten killed on the ship, but I was really glad to see her. I still miss Idris Elba from the Thor movies.
Yeah.
What's his name? Heimdall?
Heimdall, yes.
I mean, I was like,
Keeper
of
the gates
yeah.
of Asgard, yes.
He got killed in Infinity War, and I was hoping, you know, maybe with all the going back and forth, you know, in time, maybe he could have came back, and I was kind of sad that he didn't.
Yeah, and there was a nice cameo there with Renee Russo, Thor's mother.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
Freya.
a lot of good Easter egg cameos, like Robert Redford and Haley Atwell. I mean, I loved the Easter eggs. I liked how this was like a tribute to what had been going on in the cinematic universe up to this point. So it was really nice to see, to get all these different movies and characters to try to make sense so it all connects, and I really like that very much.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Right, Gigi?
So I guess that's enough about Thor. Who can we cover next?
How about Iron Man? Now,
oh my gosh.
That was really sad.
How could I forget?
Yeah, how could you forget? I really, here's what was interesting. This movie kept teasing death. Like, there's a scene where Iron Man and Tony Stark goes out in space, and he looks like he's about to die, and then later in the battlefield, you look like Captain America's about to die, and he doesn't, and stuff. I really liked how we were kind of teased. It was almost like watching an old movie serial where it almost got like a cliffhanger ending. I mean, his death really was sad, and I would have loved to have seen one more solo Iron Man movie before that, but, you know, maybe he got tired of it. But I mean, I thought he was really good as usual. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was snarky as usual. It was great, and it's just going to be hard. And I really loved his funeral or memorial service scene where everybody's there. It was very touching.
Yes, definitely. And just some surprising characters were there, like Easter eggs, like the kid that
from Iron Man 3
was the Iron Man 3.
Funeral,
So who knows if he's the next Iron Man, or could it be the Black Panther's sister, Shuri? But in the comics, it's actually Riri Williams, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But she basically was a college student studying just robotics and everything. But I mean, these movies, there's so much in the comics, it's impossible to put everything into a movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So the simple thing would probably be what Marvel could do is to make Shuri the next Iron Man. Or you can go with Tony's wife, Pepper. She was awesome at that. That femme fatale scene, like when
they're all fighting Thor and stuff.
Yeah, when those women were just going at, I'm like, yes, you know, finally, you know, Marvel has their women, and just a femme fatale scene like no other. And I just loved Scarlet Witch. I mean, she's like, you took everything from me, and I mean, she just like tore Thanos a new one. It was great. And that, when I think of Endgame, I just think of that one scene, which is like Captain Marvel leading, and it's so good, guys. You gotta go see it.
You know what I would have liked, what I was expecting? Like, there was a couple examples where I was expecting something different. Like, there was a scene where they go back in time, and Loki, after they capture him in the 2012 timeline, he gets the stone and he escapes. And I was expecting him to show up like at the end, like during the battle, or show up again with, you know, because he escaped and changed the storyline, and he never came back, and I was really disappointed. I thought he was going to come back.
I think I know what's going to happen with Loki, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But how about Captain America picking up Thor's hammer? Now we were teased a little bit with that when they were everybody was trying to pick up Thor's hammer. I think it was
Age of Ultron.
in Age of Ultron, yes, and it just like shook a little bit when Cap picked it up, and Thor was like, that can't be, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, like at the end, he's like, I knew you were worthy of it, and I mean that was great. Like the crowd was going wild, and you know it was awesome.
Yeah, but I love the dramatic touches. Like obviously Thor has some regrets over you know how he lost a lot of his friends and a lot of the characters died, and I liked you know how he has the opportunity to try to save his mom, but in the end he realizes he can't do it.
Yeah.
And I really, you know, all these dramatic, like there's moments where the characters feel like they lost hope, and I really love like these little touches, you know, because oftentimes in the Marvel movies they're cocky, they're comical, and they're snarky, and they throw one-liners, and it's a great time. But I love the dramatic touches in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow with, you know, when you know, after 5 years after they kill Thanos and the world is like still in dark place, Captain America is trying to tell you know we just got to continue and go on, and she's just like, you know, how can you continue and go on and stuff. So yeah. Now her death, her death kind of made sense to me. On the one, I had a feeling it was going to go that route instead of Hawkeye, because you know Hawkeye's got a family, obviously in the beginning, which is a great scene. They disappear. And then I had a feeling it was going to be her, because you lose a character. It's always a good touch to lose, and dramatic touch, if you lose a character that you love and like Tony Stark. So I had a feeling, and you know, she doesn't really have a family that she's aware of, and so I had a feeling it was going to go that route when they were fighting over who was going to die to get the last Soul Stone.
Right, and when Duff, which is surprising that Hugo Weaving did not assume the role of Red Skull, which they kind of turned into Duff. That was kind of a nice twist too, because in the comics, like Duff is a woman that Thanos actually courts. So that definitely was a very big surprise, even like Infinity War.
But it was a nice surprise. I thought it all kind of came together and stuff. You know.
Yeah. It definitely did, and it was really neat because we knew like what happened to Red Skull. He touched the Tesseract, and he all of a sudden was where like the Soul Stone was on that planet, which I can't think of the name of.
Yeah, not right now. But I thought it was a very satisfying movie, and I can't wait for where Phase 4 is going to go from here. So I mean, you did a bit of research. So
yes, yeah, okay. So like before we dove into this review, I mentioned Namor the Submariner. Now, if you guys recall, when it's 5 years later and Black Widow is actually talking to Black Panther's right-hand woman, played by Danae Gurira, which is aka Michonne from The Walking Dead. It's actually, she says to Black Widow, you know, like when Captain Marvel and all the characters were like on the screen, you know, what's happening like around the world and all that. She says that there's been a shift in a sub-oceanic part of like off the coast of Wakanda. So that only means that Namor is maybe like getting really miffed at like humans and all that, because Namor actually starts as a villain before anything. But if the real diehard fans know, he's in the Fantastic Four. So they're teasing a lot with like Namor coming in, the Fantastic Four, possibly, hopefully, please make a good one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so there's just like so much being teased right now. And then you have Kate Bishop, the new Hawkeye in the comics. But Hawkeye's daughter's name is Lila, and a fact is Kate Bishop is not even related to Hawkeye, but we'll get to that a little bit sooner too. But yeah, I'm so psyched to actually see this guy, Namor, Marvel's Aquaman, Imperious Rex himself, Prince of Atlantis. I'm really hoping that they do something with him because he's such a great character, and the Atlantans are a little bit different from the Atlantans in Aquaman because they actually have winged feet. It's really cool, and I really hope that they do that. So, yep. Another thing with Scarlet Witch and Vision, they are actually supposed to get their new show on Disney Plus, and it would be awesome just to see them in action in WandaVision. It will be called. For those of you that don't know, Scarlet Witch is actually one of Magneto's daughters, and she has quite a tale herself. Her and Quicksilver, which died in Avengers Ultron, which he's such a great character, but I guess Fox wanted to have Quicksilver to themselves. But now with that merger, that's a possibility too, that he comes back, because like when they reset everything with Ant-Man's Quantum Realm, I mean, just this movie is just, it's mind blowing, like how they just adapted everything, you know. But yeah, WandaVision is going to be really cool. And in the comics, believe it or not, Rob, they actually have children, which is William and Thomas. Yeah. So yeah, William is the Wiccan, which also could tease Young Avengers, because that consists of Wiccan, the Hulkling, Patriot, and Kate Bishop starts all this. Okay, but Hawkeye's daughter was named Lila, so I don't know how they could introduce Kate Bishop from that. But yeah, because if you recall, Ant-Man's daughter was Kate, so I don't know, but that's just like for the diehard fans right there.
Yeah, Loki's supposed to get a show too.
Loki's supposed to get a show too, and that would be awesome, because Loki is just Marvel's comedic genius, you know. And Tom Hiddleston will be awesome. Now all these shows for Disney Plus, Marvel's like beginning of phase 4, they actually tease it as a cartoon at first. Yeah. And I didn't really know what to think about that, because a lot of the cartoons that you see on Disney XD, they go out of style really quick. But the actors, like having like a live action role, that would be really neat. Also, Winter Soldier and Falcon are supposed to get a show, as well as Hawkeye and possibly Kate Bishop herself. So there's a lot, guys. There's a lot slated that Marvel's teasing with us now, and they're the best at it.
Yeah. Now, the movies themselves, Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3 is supposed to actually happen this time. I know there was that problem with James Gunn, and he left and he wrote the new Suicide Squad movie, and supposedly, I think I heard he came back and they made up and they're going to let him write and direct it. There's Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, wow.
I heard there's supposed to be a Black Widow movie. I don't know if it's going to take place before she died or if somehow she's able to come back or what. And I heard this. What's this kung fu character that might get his own movie?
It's Shang Li. Shang Li. Yeah, he's supposed to be like teamed with like Iron Fist, and yeah, just like Marvel's basically Bruce Lee, you know, character. Which is really cool, and I hope they do something wonderful with Iron Fist, because everybody knows the show did not do well.
Yeah, and there's Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, and since Thor went off with the Guardians of the Galaxy, I wonder if Thor is going to be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie or not.
Yes.
He did say he would do the movies as long as they want him to, so maybe in the future we could get a solo Thor movie. I don't know if, since Captain America kind of retired in Endgame and passed things onto Falcon. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're gonna make him Captain America in an
Well-
upcoming movie or not.
Well,
But-
it's happening in the comics. You know, I was hoping that would happen. Somehow I knew that would happen. And I mean, Cap, they really gave a nice ending to. He lived his life with his love, Peggy Carter. I mean, it could have ended better. And there's Old Man Cap in the comics too. So I mean, there's just so much that they can play with, and it's amazing. I'm like a kid in the candy store. I'm just ecstatic. What's next?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad not to have Iron Man unless somehow they go through time and bring him back or something. But I mean, I kind of had a feeling that something was going to happen with him because I noticed on IMDb he had a bunch of projects coming out, Robert Downey Jr., and since he's played Iron Man, he's made a movie called The Judge. But other than that, he hasn't done a lot of other movies. He's got a Dr. Dolittle movie in production,
Oh my gosh.
and another Sherlock Holmes
Dr.
movie.
Dolittle.
So I think, I had a feeling he was gonna. I thought he was gonna at least maybe leave and possibly come back, but maybe that may not be the case now. So
Well, all good things must come to an end, and I mean, Robert Downey Jr. played Tony Stark to a T for years. But you also got other actors doing projects too. Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie and Thor together in Men in Black. That's going to be quite a movie to see too. Oh, but also slated is the Eternals.
oh yeah,
The
that too.
Eternals with basically Thanos' like beginning. He's like the third generation of Titans, and gosh, yeah, I guess it's his brothers and sisters, Titans, the Marvel's Greek gods or something. Who knows who was going through the wonderful late and great minds of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and I mean, but they were also inspired, just by mythology. That's how we get all characters like Marvel's Inhumans, Medusa, and all that. And I hope they give the Inhumans another go because we all know how that ended too.
Yeah, and let's not forget there's a Spider-Man movie coming up, and I wish they would have waited maybe a month after Endgame came out, because in the trailer you which characters that are in that movie are coming back. Obviously, Happy, and of course Spider-Man, and I'm like, okay, well, we know that's not going to be a surprise that they're going to be coming back at some point in Endgame,
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have waited maybe a
gosh.
month or something.
And I mean, how about this new Hulk? What they did with him, merging the Hulk and Bruce Banner together.
It took me a while to get used to, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it did me too. But it offered some wonderful moments, like when they went back and in time, and they were fighting the Chitauri, Thanos' henchmen, or sub to the Black Order. But yeah, I mean that was actually funny because he didn't know what to do, and he's like, oh my gosh, I did all this destruction back in 2012 to New York, and it was just hilarious. And I mean, he actually had to act like the Hulk, and he'd be like, picking up the cars, and then it throw it so nonchalantly, like a human would. I mean, what they did with the Hulk was brilliant too. And whether Mark Ruffalo is fired or not from the Hulk, I mean, I suppose it won't matter anymore because Endgame was a means to an end. I mean, it's time to go on. But just the possibilities is just great. And they're also teasing an X-Men versus Avenger movie. So when that merger will happen, and I mean, in the comics, Namor is an X-Men. So I mean, just so much going on here. And next, I can't wait for the Dark Phoenix. Actually, I really was not excited with the first previews of the Dark Phoenix, and they said they had to be remade and
Yeah, I heard like
reshot.
the last third had
Yeah.
of the movie had reshoots instead of it. I read instead of it taking place in space, it's taking place on a train. I saw a couple of clips. I think it must have been the train where they're all
Yeah.
kind of up against the wall or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, "She's coming."
Yeah, and she has this. I mean, the preview shows her like taking Magneto's helmet apart and just like throwing it back at him. Yeah, Jean is very powerful and definitely one of my favorites. I really hope that they give Storm her due because it's about time. And Alexandra Shipp, the one who plays Storm, is fighting for that actually. And you know, Halle Berry did okay, you know, but even she wanted a bigger part in that. So yeah, just so much to play with and so much to look forward to in the years to come in the MCU.
Supposedly, there's enough stuff till 2024.
Oh my gosh, definitely.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm sure they can find something, you know. But yeah, I'm hoping that they do the Dark Phoenix right. Everybody knows what happened to X-Men: The Last Stand. If it's a repeat of that, I'm gonna say I would be so disappointed. But and hopefully this is the beginning of the merger. I don't think it will be because Fox shot this.
This is probably the last or one of the last under the old Fox X-Men series, and then and I think then it'll be a wrap.
Yeah, but do you think they're gonna revamp the X-Men? I mean, they're young enough to where they don't have to. Right now,
I have a feeling if they do, they're gonna start over again. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be wise.
That makes sense. I mean, why carry on the previous regime's stuff? You know what I'm saying? I think if they're gonna do X-Men or Fantastic Four, they're gonna start over again.
Oh well, the Fantastic Four definitely. I mean, if they don't, I'd be so shocked. And you know who's up for the Fantastic Four, right?
No, who?
Oh my gosh. Basically, it's Emily Blunt and her husband John Krasinski. And I think they'd be an awesome Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. I really think they would. I don't know who they're gonna play, who they're gonna get for the Human Torch, because I mean, Chris Evans, he's done with Cap, and he can't reprise his role of the Human Torch. I think that way makes sense. But they had to find somebody really charismatic, as Chris Evans was in that role to begin with. Oh my gosh! But guys, yeah, it's so much going on, and just please stay tuned to R&B reviews because you'll definitely learn a lot, and we definitely try to know our stuff. If we're wrong, please tell us.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get it in the comment box. But there's a lot of movies coming up this summer that I want to see and he wants to see. So
yeah. Like what movie besides like Dark Phoenix and all that are you looking forward to?
Well, the next movie I'm really looking forward to is the movie Tolkien about J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yes.
And
definitely.
I'm more curious in wanting to see Aladdin.
Yeah, I'm getting more curious about that too. I don't think Will Smith is gonna do the.
Well, he's got a big lamp to fill. Pardon the expression. So, but I mean, I know. I did do a movie where I did a list of summer movies I'm looking forward to. I'll try to include that as a screen card at the end of this video as well.
Yeah.
So.
And it's so great that we can talk about Aladdin and everything because I mean everything is all Disney, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, they have it all now. And Disney does definitely have a darker side, and we've seen that from the movie.
Yeah.
But I think the best line in Avengers Endgame, oh my gosh, just like to wrap it up, is when Cap is checking himself out, and like Ant-Man put that in his head, that's America's ass. I mean, that Disney is just going above and beyond to really target like everybody.
Yeah, but I think my favorite final line is when Iron Man is about to die and he's about to fight Thanos for the last time. He's like, "I am Iron Man" and stuff.
Yeah.
And I really like that Doctor Strange
Yeah.
says, "I can't tell you how we're gonna win because then it won't happen." And it turns out he stole, Doctor Strange stole the stones and put him on Iron Man, and then he was able to defeat Thanos and stuff.
And I mean, you're talking just like cameos, you know, like when they bring everybody back. I mean, but
it's like a final romp in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it was just. It was a fanboy's dream. Let me tell you that. I mean, it was wonderful just to see Valkyrie on Pegasus, you know, going through. And,
I do have one question. Now, in Thor and Thor: Dark World, Thor had a group of friends. What happened to them, or did I miss something?
Oh my gosh.
Because he had like a group of friends, and it's like they disappeared, and I have no idea where the hell they went. It's like they weren't in Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, unless they came with and they died on the ship in Infinity War. I have no idea where they
Didn't Hell like kill them?
Did they? I'm sure somebody knows.
Yeah,
somebody watched this video knows.
Yeah,
because I asked, because when Justin and I reviewed Thor Ragnarok, we're like, what? I was like, what happened to them? They were there in the first two movies, and it's like they disappeared. So,
well, I mean, Hela, she just tore up Asgard. I mean, and that was a great movie. I think that was the start of like really Marvel just like hitting it hard, just with the comet effects and just everything, and those effects were awesome in Thor Ragnarok, and of course Kate Blanchett. You know, they couldn't pick a better woman to play the Mistress of Death. You know, Thor's sister. So yeah, guys, we really want to know what you think.
Of the movie, what you think is going to happen and stuff, and please put them in the comment box below.
Yeah.
And please like the video, and please consider being a subscriber and look at all this over almost 700 videos on this channel from a variety, from Marvel, DC, classic movies, discussion videos, all kinds of stuff.
Hit that subscribe button, that love button, because we love you.
Yes. All right. Well, again, we both gave the movie a see it in theaters rating in the non-spoiler review, which you can check out. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time around in the near future.
Yes, definitely. All righty.
And Darren, thank you again.
Yeah, no problem, Rob.
Okay.
And we're out.